This video is sponsored by Squarespace. What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back. I'm excited to be here answering your zero waste questions from Instagram. Before we get into this video, I wanted to apologize for the redness of my nose. I don't know if you can tell under these hot video lights, but it's been so windy here recently. It's just making my nose run and my hair frizz, which is why I'm wearing a hat for the second time. I'm pretty sure I wore this hat in my last upload. But anyway, this is the new me. Do you guys like it? I'm wearing lipstick to try and distract you, but I don't know if that's gonna work. Let's get into the questions. Any advice on overcoming feelings of anxiety or embarrassment when refusing plastic in public? I feel like cashiers and waiters think I'm trying to make their job harder. Totally. I used to be so nervous when I would go to my store and ask for exceptions, you know, with plastic bags and stuff like that, but I feel like honestly, it gets easier the more you do it. So I'd say the first most important thing is to remember your why, because your why is going to get you through all that, right? So the reason that I personally refuse plastic is because it's a huge problem in our world, and so much of it, especially the like single-use stuff, can easily be avoided. So just be nice and say something like, oh, I actually don't need a plastic bag because I have my own, or could I please have my drink without a straw? I'm trying to reduce the amount of plastic I use this year or something. I feel like if you tie it into something else like a New Year's resolution or something, it's easier for the waiter to remember, and you don't have to get into like your whole eco-friendly spiel if you don't want to. And I mean, if you think about it, when you're refusing a bag or a straw or, you know, a fork or whatever, you're really saving that place money because you're not taking their resources, so that's something to keep in mind too. I personally don't shop in the bulk section with my glass jars anymore, but that's just because I find that it's easier for me to use my canvas bags, and it means that I don't have to plan as far in advance. I can just go to the store with my bags and call it done. But when I did use my glass jars in the bulk section, I was less nervous when I knew that I wasn't going to be like at the grocery store during the lunch rush, you know, trying to explain to the cashier how to, you know, do the tear weight or whatever. That's something to keep in mind too if you're nervous about it. For me, I found that it was easy for me to shop either early in the day before work or later in the evening after the rush. Because then if the cashier did need to go and ask a manager for help or, you know, something like that, it wasn't a huge deal. Do you like your Baggu bags? Where do you purchase reusable bags? And what do you use at the grocery store? So yes, I love my Baggu bags. They're super heavy duty. I think they hold like 50 pounds per bag, which is crazy. They are made out of nylon, which is a synthetic material, but I find that I don't wash them very often. And honestly, this is just a brand that I really love supporting. Their reusable bags are made in a way that reduces fabric waste, which is really important because they're just made out of one continuous piece of fabric. And then the pieces of fabric that are cut to make the straps are turned into the little carrying case of the bag that you like fold the bag up into when you're not using it. But one of the major reasons that I love supporting this company is that Baggu has a nylon take-back program, and that's a perfect example of a circular mindset. And a circular mindset is what zero waste is, right? We don't live in a circular economy right now, but companies like this that take responsibility for their products and, you know, their packaging are great companies to support, in my opinion. Plus, the bags are incredibly adorable. They're designed really well, so they're cute and they're designed well, which is important in my book, and they're colorful and they just make me happy when I use them, so I continue to use them. I use natural canvas and cotton bags for things like bulk purchases or produce when I'm at the grocery store, and I actually have the bags that I use linked in my new website shop page, which is very exciting. I purchased some of them on Amazon, but if you have the option to shop at a local retailer, I highly recommend doing that instead of Amazon. So those are the things that I use when I shop at my grocery store, but when I shop at my farmer's market, which I absolutely love. I've been out of town for the last couple weekends though, so I haven't been able to make it there on Saturdays. But when I do make it there, I just bring my big basket and fill it up with produce without any bags at all, which is so nice. And then even when I'm at my grocery store, I don't use bags for everything. I use them for things like bulk mushrooms and lettuce, because bulk mushrooms are, you know, weighed by the pound, so it's just easier for the cashier to keep them all in one little bag. And then I find like lettuce and kale will just like get water everywhere if I don't use a bag. But for other things like peppers or, you know, oranges or onions, peppers or zucchini or whatever, I'll just wash it really well when I get home, and then I find that I don't need a bag when I buy it. What's your stainless steel water container? So I wasn't sure if this question was about my stainless steel cup or my Berkey filter, so I thought I'd talk about both of them. My Berkey filter is this water purification system that I use and absolutely love. It filters out toxins, heavy metals, pharmaceutical drugs, all kinds of scary stuff. I am really chemically sensitive, and I know that sounds so dumb, but I was told that by a doctor. I'm not just making it up. I think a lot of us are chemically sensitive, and I think especially when we're talking about things like heavy metals and other people's pharmaceuticals, in my opinion, it's important to not ingest those things. Obviously, to each their own, right? But I prefer to not take those things in. So that's why I really like the Berkey, because it takes all those things out. Before we had this Berkey filter, Nick and I would just fill up our 5-gallon water containers weekly with water from the grocery store. We had like 3 of them that we'd fill up weekly because we drink a lot of water. But then I started doing research on how that water is processed, and I realized that it's not very drought friendly. And for me, someone who lives in Southern California, I'm always trying to limit my water usage. So for that alkaline water that we were getting from our grocery store, it takes like 2 or 3 gallons of water to produce 1 gallon of clean water. And I felt really guilty about that after I found out that that's what I was using for so long. But with the Berkey filter, you just pour your tap water into the top of it, and then it filters down, so you're not losing any water and you're just using what you put in there. Obviously there are plastic components in the filter system, but again, I'm not going to have to replace those very often, and that's just something that I'm sort of it's a give and take for me. I'm using less water, but I'm using a little bit of plastic. But this is a system that works really well for me and for Nick, and I'm really happy with it. And then my stainless steel cup that I use all the time is from Clean Canteen. It's, like I said, just a stainless steel 16-ounce pint cup, and I absolutely love it. It doesn't have a lid, and a lot of people ask me about the lid. They do make a lid for it, but I've heard that it leaks. Some people have told me that it doesn't leak, but honestly, I feel like one of the reasons that I'm able to just grab this and go all the time is that I don't have to clean an additional thing like a lid, and that makes me sound really lazy, but it's true. It's just one less thing that I have to think about, and I find that I drink my drinks fast enough where I'm not generally worried about them getting cold or whatever. So anyway, I love it. It's super easy when I'm at a coffee shop because it just is the same size as the cups that they use at the coffee shop, so I never get overcharged. I never have the issue of like them pouring the coffee from a disposable cup into my cup, which used to happen when I had a taller to-go cup, which is like, okay, it's so dumb, it defeats the point, right? And then the sleeve is also from Clean Canteen, and if I remember correctly, it's a collaboration with Patagonia, where they take the reclaimed fibers or like leftover fibers and recycle them into these sleeves, and I just love it. Again, it's designed so well, and yeah, I use it pretty much every day. How do you not feel overwhelmed with reducing waste? What are small changes that can be made? Making small changes has been the only thing that's kept me on, you know, this path and made this lifestyle work for me over time. So I started, you know, thinking about my waste and trying to reduce it 3 years ago, and here I am 3 years later, and I'm still not perfectly, completely zero waste, and I'm fine with that, honestly. I think the thing that keeps me going and helps me to not get overwhelmed is to remind myself that we don't live in a zero waste world, so trash is going to happen. So if we're talking about, you know, easy things you can do to try to reduce your waste, I would say start in one area of your life or your home and then go from there. So if you've mastered always remembering to, you know, bring your reusable products with you when you leave your house, like your, you know, water bottle, coffee cup, utensils or whatever, then maybe move on to your kitchen. Are you making a lot of trash in your kitchen? Are you composting? Are you making a lot of food waste in general? You know, not everyone can buy totally package-free food, including myself, but that's okay. because that's not what zero waste is about. It's about changing your mindset and trying to put value back into your belongings. So keep that in mind too. Next time you buy something new, before you buy something, think, you know, is there something reusable that I can replace the disposable item with that I used to buy? Can you buy spaghetti in a box instead of a plastic bag? Can you buy loose leaf tea instead of something in a box that has plastic on it? Or, you know, coffee loose instead of packaged. We all have different resources available to us. We live in different parts of the world. We have different incomes, different dietary restrictions. Our zero waste lifestyles are all gonna be a little bit different, and that's perfectly fine. So just do your best and don't be too hard on yourself. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video without interfering with the content. If you remember my last video, I shared a little bit about the process of updating my website, and Squarespace has made it totally simple for me to create a beautiful and professional looking site with absolutely zero web design or coding skills. I now have my blog, website, and store all in one place, making it so much easier for me to manage and hopefully easier for you to find too. One thing that I'm really excited about is my little updated shop page that I mentioned earlier in this video. It has my tote bags on it and my soon-to-come digital prints, and also a few pages of items that I get questions about all the time, like my reusable cup or my produce bags or my favorite natural makeup. So if you'd like to get started with your own blog, website, or online shop of your own, please follow the link in the description for your free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like it if you did like it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.